Alright, folks, how's everybody doing tonight? So, I wanted to kind of make a video touching on a subject about a question that has kind of been posed to me over the past, 3 years or so, um, about why I voted for and support our president, Donald John Trump. Now, the the course of the events of the video I'm about to show literally sealed the deal for me very, very early on in the election process. I had no idea who I was going to vote for. I knew exactly who I wasn't going to vote for, but I wasn't sure exactly who I was going to vote for. And he obviously, in everybody's book, and kind of still is in some ways or another, he was a wild card, Donald Trump. But watching this debate here, ABC News New Hampshire debate, it was one of the early ones. Not too early, but midway through the thing. Um, this opening scene that I'm going to show you guys in just a second, um, basically gave me all the answers I needed to know and all the questions I had at that particular moment, as far as, um, you know, what what kind of world we were getting ourselves into. Um, as far as what to, the possibilities and who I want running this country at that particular moment, with the way things were going. Um, basically, proceeding with the past 8 years we went through. And there was a moment in this debate that people didn't talk about the way that I'm about to talk about and what it meant to me when I saw it, live when it was happening. Because I pay attention. I'm a little bit of a political junkie in a lot of ways. A lot of people made jokes about this event that I'm about to show. The opening scene to this debate here, the New Hampshire debate from ABC. A lot of jokes. Saturday Night Live made skits and all this other things under the sun. Um, but the way I'm gonna kind of break it down, what it meant to me when I saw it, and basically what gave me, or excuse me, what gave Donald Trump my vote, and still do, and I nothing but support this man. So I'm gonna start this off. You're gonna hear them talking a little bit. Um, they're gonna kind of do the introduction, and in a second I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna kind of let you guys see something. I'll make some commentary as we go. So here's the very beginning of the debate when they're gonna start introducing the candidates, and a very simple thing happened that people made jokes about, that for me stood out like it's exactly what I wanted to see in a president, and I'm going to explain to you why in just a few minutes. Um, so let's let this play out for just a quick second, all right? Jersey. Now watch what happens. Ben Carson missed his cue. Ben Carson was supposed to walk out. You can see him by his hands and his hand gestures. He's nervous. Texas Senator Ted Cruz. He heard Ted Cruz's name. Now look here. This is a politician. He said, "What's the matter with you?" Keeps it moving. He just embarrassed this man. Now they just called Donald Trump out to the stage. Donald Trump sees what happens. And watch how this plays out. Marco Rubio plays his little snaky ass politician ways. Jeb Bush looks all confused. Donald Trump has his composure. He's maintaining his composure. You see that face that Jeb just made? Now look at Donald Trump. Millions and millions of people are watching this right now, and he knows it. So now they call Carson back out. And Donald Trump, he gives the man his applause. He respects him as a man. He gives him his moment. And lastly, we welcome back to the debate stage, Donald Trump. So now Donald Trump walks out. Now they mess up, Christie over here, the Republican, the governor for Jersey. And he says, "Oh, what about Kasich? Who cares about John Kasich? But so what I wanted to kind of bring to light with this, if we can kind of rewind a little ways, if this kind of picks up. So look at the pat on the shoulder, on the elbow. Kind of says, what's the matter with you, you idiot? This is a neurosurgeon. This man is far from an idiot. But now look at Donald Trump, the racist, the this, the that. He gives the respect of another human being to not embarrass him like all the rest of these yokers do. All the rest of them, they embarrassed Ben Carson. But Donald Trump respects him as a man. Now, in a president, we want somebody. I'm going to put this on mute for a second. In a president, we want somebody who's going to be able to stand up to high stressful situations, to think, to use his judgment, to think in situations where most people would crack, most people would break. He knows right now that millions and millions and millions of people around the world are watching every single move that every single one of them is making. And what does Donald Trump do? He holds back. He gives somebody else the respect that they deserve. Again, a freaking neurosurgeon. What have you done in your life, any of these people on this stage? And this man over here saved countless lives. And they just make, crack jokes, make fun of him. Like I said, Saturday Night Live did a whole skit about this whole introduction over here. When you're president, you're dealing with international things, local things, this thing, that thing, everything under the sun. Things that we don't even know about, things we shouldn't even know about. But Donald Trump can keep his composure. He understands how to react in stressful situations. He holds himself at a different level because he is at a different level. He's a regular guy. Oh, you say he was born with money, he was born with this, he was born... Hey, a lot of people were born with money and they got their nose up to the sky and whatnot like that. All right, he's got a gold toilet back over there at Trump Plaza, but wouldn't you if you had his money? Hey, think about it. This man, Donald Trump, over the past, 3 years or so, he hasn't been able to even take a breath, not even a breath of air, with the amount of garbage that has been thrown at this man's face. And guess what? He's still working for our country. He's still doing everything he's supposed to do. There he is right there. He's still doing exactly what this country needs at the exact correct moment that we need it. Now, excuse me, sorry about that.
That's not the temperament of a leader to keep this.
People make comments. Oh, he tweets too much. He this is too much. He that too much. What other resource does he have? What kind of outlet has this man been given? You guys may throw out Fox News to you. Get out of here. Watch Fox News for a minute. You got maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 at most good shows on there. Past that, they're all Trump haters. All these people are Trump haters because he's not part of the system. He's exposing them. He's bringing things to light that weren't meant to be brought to light. Every single one of these politicians is a snake, and everybody knows it. We've always known it. They've always have been. What has he been doing? He's been building things. He basically built New York City with the palm of his hands. He built up Times Square. You go to Times Square in the 80s and you would have been over there. Half of you people watching this video right now, you would have hide with your head between your legs and you would have ran out of Times Square before you even thought it. He was one of the first guys to build it to Times Square. To rebuild it up and whatnot like that. Look at Times Square now. Go to Times Square now. Think about what he's done. Just for New York City. Forget about past that. You guys talk about the racist stuff with this man. I have a video previous to this about the whole Charlottesville incident. You can go over and watch that if you want. But as far as racism is concerned, you know why Donald Trump got into buying golf courses? The real reason why he got into buying golf. Oh yeah, he likes to play golf. So owning your own golf courses, definitely helps when if you like playing golf. But he had friends of his that was Jewish, that was black. And at the time, not too long ago, guys, not too long ago whatsoever, if you were Jewish and you were black, you weren't allowed in to play in the golf courses. Yeah, it was membership only, but they're not going to give memberships to blacks or Jews. So what did he do? Because he had the friends and he wanted to play golf with his friends. He said, all right, I'm going to buy the golf course so my friends can play. You could find these articles in old newspapers. You know, you go into the library, you get the periodical thing, you know, with that little computer scan thing, and you can find all these old newspaper articles that these things were written about. This is the points that I'm making about Donald Trump. Every single thing that is said about him, if you look it up, if you research it, if you put a little thought process behind everything and not just, you know, be a sponge and absorb, you know, what people are feeding you, you'll learn that every single thing you hear is a lie. Like I said, since this man has even before he stepped into office, when he came down that escalator, they were slandering him. I heard an interesting thing. You know, I heard something on the radio the other day. There was an article that was wrote the day of the election. 6 hours. 6 hours, 12 hours. What? Less than 24 hours into this man's presidency, there were articles written about his impeachment. Let that sink in for a second. They were talking less than 24 hours into the man's presidency about impeaching him. Think about that. Think about that. Think about what this man has gone through over the amount of time. Would you be able to handle it? Not a chance. Every single last one of you would have cracked on day one. Trust me when I tell you that. Heard another interesting thing. 96% of all, that's including all, mainstream, not mainstream, so small, big, whatever, all news reported about Donald John Trump, 96% is of a negative light. Do you really think he's that bad? Do you really think that any human being could be possibly that bad? This man has gone through more scrutiny. And right now, I'm not even talking about his presidency. He's gone through more scrutiny than any human being that walked this earth alive today. Excuse me. Donald Trump had a lot of dealings with casinos. Do you know what the loops and the this and the that you got to go through just to get your casino licenses and to get approved by the casino board? Because they try and, you know, make sure that the mafia is not involved with you or nothing like that. A fine-tooth comb isn't even the word. They go through your dirty laundry, your garbage bags. They go through everything. If you watch some of the movie Casino, you could see some of the things that what's his name, whatever the guy's name, De Niro, whatever his character's name was. You know what he had to do to try and get his licenses. Now, that's the movies. That was a different time. That was back in the 70s and 60s and whatnot. You know, we're talking into the 80s and 90s. If there was dirt on Donald John Trump, they would have found it 30 years ago. They got nothing on him. They got nothing. But now you watch. Now they're doing the impeachments. Now they're talking this. They're talking that. Now it's not a quid pro quo. I just heard now it's bribery. They change it day by day. They throw crap on the wall and they see what sticks. They're trying to infect the minds of the people, and that's all they're doing. They're just infecting you with a virus, with negative thoughts constantly about different things. Nobody's talking about the positivity of things. In the first time in history, we have the lowest unemployment rate for the African American community. Now, that's including the time that a lot of people, a lot of times in history, they don't even talk about. During the Harlem Renaissance, you look up Black Wall Street, you look up things like that, things that were going on in the 30s and whatnot. Blacks had the lowest single-parent households. They were lower than whites. That all got destroyed. Why? By the people over there in Washington, the Democrats. You had a lot of things going on with Roosevelt doing the New Deal and whatnot like that, handing out things, doing the welfares and the food stamps and the this and the that. Years and years ago, there was a thing called relief. You had to pay back what you borrowed. Today, you get everything for free. That's the way they want to keep it. You listen to a guy, the famous book and author, Machiavelli, the Prince. And in the story, you know, in a nutshell, he talks about basically how to control people. And you know, there's a thing called Machiavellian Politics. And a lot of politicians, they follow that. Excuse me. Now, part of the Machiavellian Politics and in the book The Prince, he basically discussed how do you control the masses. And I'm going to quote from the movie The Bronx Tale, to make it simple, because it's probably one of the best ways, the synopsises of that book. You keep people close, and you give them a little bit to keep them coming back. You don't give them too much, because then they don't need you no more. So what a lot of these Washington politicians have been doing for all these years is they give you just enough to wet your taste buds a little bit, like that. Thinking that you're doing good for yourself with your $500, $1,000 a month. That you're all right. You're on your Section 8. You're on your this. You're on your that. Everything is given to you in life. Why try at that point? Why try and excel? Why try and do anything better for yourself? And really and truly, that's the model with Donald Trump, and as far as his presidency and his legacy is going to concern. He's giving you the tools. He's putting everything out there. He started the different things with the, not the UEZ zones, but the basically making arrangements with all these big businesses, saying, all right, come back to America. We'll lower your tax rates. We'll lower you this. You lower that. This is what the tax cuts were. That they're trying to say. Oh, he was only giving tax cuts to the rich. The tax cuts to the rich. Those are the people that are your bosses. Those are the people that own all your corporations. Those are the people that you're buying everything from. That are giving you paychecks. These are the people that run the world. So, what's the problem? We need more rich people, because the rich people open up jobs for you and me. Joe Schmo. Now, these tax cuts that he gave to the quote-unquote rich, what it basically was, all right, we're going to give you a tax cut, but you got to open up your business in an urban area, and you got to hire local, and you got to hire the people from that urban area, and then you get the tax rebates and the tax cuts and this and that and a third. So what's he doing? He's opening up jobs. Jobs are being brought to the urban communities that were lost for decades. Were lost. And all these urban communities were all Democrat run. You look at every single poor area in this entire country, every single one of them, hands down, not one is even different than this. Every single poor community in this country is run by Democrats, either local or in the state capitals and whatnot. Look at it. Think about it. Whatever town you guys live in, think about the areas that are less disenfranchised, put it that way, more urbanized, and then find out who the local politicians are and what they represent. Are they R's or they D's? And again, guys, I don't like the whole Republican Democrat fight between the two. They're the same wolves in sheep clothing, just wearing a different color. That's really all it is. We're using these words that are creating a tribalistic mentality where, oh, I'm Republican, oh, I'm Democrat, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. No, you're American. And with that all being said, for this election coming up in 2020, guys, you really need to think about this. For those of you that are on the fence with what you want to do, I'm going to make a closing statement as this. For 2020, you are not voting for Donald John Trump. You are voting for America. You are voting for your children, for your grandchildren. You are voting for literally, for all of your finances that you have in your pockets right now. Because, folks, excuse me, let me get a glass of water. Because, guys, if you get any of these lefties into the office, your Warrens, your Bernies, your theses, your that's, do you know how much freaking money you're going to be paying in your taxes? Do you realize what 70% taxes is going to put in your paycheck? Did you think about what that's going to do to you? Now, oh yeah, we're only going to tax the billionaires. BS up your whatever you want to call it. Do you think that they're going to get enough money just only taxing the billionaires? What do you got? Maybe 20, 30, 40 of them in this country, with the other whatever million people are in this country? You think you're gonna get your free healthcare and your free what do you call it? Your free college? Get out of here. Don't let it fool you guys. Use your brain. God gave you a brain. You might as well use it, you know? So again, vote smart, vote correctly, and you're not voting for a man. You're voting for this country. You're voting for the things that this country has stood on. You're voting for the things that this country has given us. You're voting for the things that are some of us and your family members have fought and died for. Now, that's really where I'm coming from with this. Now, I know this was a little bit long, and I really want to, put this video out there as far as the explanation on why or what was the, literally the quintessential moment that made me flip for Donald Trump. Was this debate right here, this ABC debate, New Hampshire debate. And this is what, gave this man my vote. Now, I'm going to be making a few more of these videos coming up relatively shortly, because, the powers that be of who we're watching this video on, I'm going to be making some changes over in December. And if you guys read these new community guidelines, I guess you can say in a nutshell they're going to have a little bit more discretion on who and what they want to be available for you to view. Now, it is a little ironic that they're making all these changes right before the election's coming to prevent you guys from possibly seeing some things that, they may not want you to see. So I'm going to try and put some of these videos out as soon as I possibly can before this deadline comes for the new guidelines. So hopefully you guys can spread this information around, possibly spread these thoughts around, and maybe a few of you, I can kind of, I'm not to persuade you into a way, but to think for yourself, to think, use your own brain, use the gifts that God gave you, and, make the choices that will, in the future, basically, not basically, literally save this country. And again, we're doing this for our children. We're doing this for our grandchildren. We're doing this for the following generations to come. I heard this afternoon, and I actually saw it on CNN. The gentleman said this, and let the comments sink in for what it is. This is CNN, that I watch because I like to get the perspective. I like to know who and what these people are thinking and what they're saying. And it gives me a little bit of an edge to have a debate with people that want to debate with me. And I welcome the debate with people. Now, on a mainstream media news channel, television channel, CNN, they actually use the words that right now we're in the middle of a cold civil war. Think about those words, that was actually said on TV today, this evening, that this country is in a cold civil war. Think about what that connotates. Really, that was actually reported. Now, yeah, a lot of us feel it. We see it. We see the I mean, literally the hatred that's from some of these people. You see people getting beat up. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, it just baffles your mind. It's one thing for us to think it, but for them to say it is a whole nother ball of wax. So guys, this is our fight. This is what we're this is why we're alive at this particular moment in our lives. We got a choice. We go one way, we go another way. We're standing on a razor's edge right now. We're balancing on one foot. Let's fall in the right, not fall, but let's land in the right direction. Again, we are not voting for a man. This is not an election for a man. This is an election to save this country, and that's really where it comes down to. And really and truly, with all that being said, my biggest worry is 2024. What are they going to pull out in the next 4 years if this man gets elected, which we hope he does? Be careful what's about to come out. Be careful what dirty tricks they're gonna pull. You watch and see. They're gonna start pulling out more women, saying, "Oh, he raped me. He did this to me. He did that to me." They're gonna say that. Why don't they use that before these women? They're gonna say that he used racist language around black people in the Oval Office. They're gonna say these things. They're gonna try and pull every single thing under the sun. I mean, think about the stupidity with this impeachment stuff. I thought he was working with the Russians, but now you tell me he's working with the Ukrainians. Learn some geopolitics, guys. The Ukrainians and the Russians don't get along. Which one is he working for? The Russians or the Ukrainians? Think about how stupid these arguments are. Think about that. Joe Biden's son did receive millions of dollars because of who his father is, and they were receiving billions of dollars. A lot of these senators, Sidney Blumenthal, a lot of these people were receiving a lot of money from the Ukrainian this energies thing or whatever like that, and it's on tape, and you can go and see Joe Biden say, "Hey, you're not getting this whatever billion something dollars from the U.S. government unless you fire the prosecutor who's investigating my son right now, and you got 6 hours to do it before I fly home." And his quote, not my words, I'm going to quote Joe Biden, "Well, son of a bitch, they fired the prosecutor." And he flew home. And then the Ukraine's got that, whatever, something billions of dollars that they received. It's all lies, guys. Use your head. Do some research. Stop being sponges. Think for yourselves. Make up your own decisions. Make up your own minds. But make sure that your thoughts are thought out. They're researched. They're intelligent. Don't follow the masses. Don't follow the crowd. It's very easy to say, "I hate Donald Trump," "Orange man bad," "dump the Trump," and all this stuff like that under the third. 4 years ago, he was the coolest guy to walk the face of the earth. Rappers got songs about him. They used to rap about him. They used to this about him. They used to that about him. People would bend over backwards to meet this man 4 years ago. Times have changed, huh? And what changed it? The media, the manipulations, the fear of the potential that man right there could expose and has exposed it. And there's a good possibility a lot of things are going to start coming out about the people that are trying to hurt him and hurt this country. And that's what they're doing. Don't take two ways about it. All them people that are going after Donald Trump, they're trying to hurt this country. Now, this video went over, about a half an hour long, and I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm going to be making more of these videos coming up in the near future to try and, get them out so that they can be out. And I may try and test some of these guidelines as they go forth and as they start changing in December. Think for yourself, folks. Do your own research. Find out the information that is going on. If you hear something, it doesn't sound right, read about it, learn about it. Do a little research. Don't just read headlines in an article. Read the article. Most of the time, the real information is the last few paragraphs. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful evening. This is the Patriotic Goomba. I really hope that what I said right now, you guys listen to and you hear and you can get through this whole video right here. I know I talked a lot. The next videos will probably be a little shorter. But everybody, I always appreciate your support. And let's stand up for this country. Let's do it. Now it's our time. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Ciao.